Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present a very interesting topic, that is network concept. So this is the network concept part 2. In this week's slides, we'll go through with the IP addresses, VPN, DNS and server configuration. And we also go on with the IP addresses with their classes, how they're divided in the classes. So the first comes with the what is IP address. IP address is a logical address or it's an address of the machine as logical to identify the machine in our network, how we can send our data to a specific computer or a specific system. Or we can say it's a logical address or it's a numeric identification, just like our home address in our real life scenario. We have address in our home society, how the other person can communicate with ourselves with sending the mails or by we want to meet to us in our home. So we have address. In same terminology in computer we have IP address. So we have a different classes of the IP address. We have a different divided into categories, that is a static and dynamic. As the word defines the static, there's a specific which have only with the limited features and their rights. The static IP is never changed. Once it's defined, it's used in the network until this manual is not changed. It provides simple, reliable communications. In dynamic, as the word describes the dynamic, which uses the different form, which have a temporary address. In simple words, it's a temporary local address. It change as in terms of the define the rules and regulation by DHCP server. So this is the dynamic, and we have a static IP address. And we can say the IP we have IPv4, IPv6, and now the day we are extending to IPv6 with the due to the limitations of IPv4. In IPv4 with the 32 bits long, in IPv6 with the 128 bits is an advanced version of IP address. This also we have different classes of IP addresses. In networking we have divided in this very 5 classes. We have a class A, B, C, D, E for different purposes and for different property and their features. In class A we divided from 1 to 126, and class B is a 128 to 191, class C 119 to 223, and class D is a 224 to 239, and class E for 240 to 254. Here we are missing with the 127. The 127 is mentioned in the classes 5B range. Is basically used for loopback address. 127 stands for your loopback address for checking your local area network connectivity or your NIC authentication. As you can see, is the 224 and 239 in class D is used for multicasting in our future reference, and class E is reserved for by our scientists, is reserved for experimental purpose only. So we have 5 classes gone through with the A, B, C, D, E. Other we have comes with the word the VPN. So the VPN is just like a secure tunnel or just like a private tunnel used in a public network. We secure our data from intruders or from hackers or attackers. In our practical scenario, we can say it's just like a tunnel. We can use the tunnel in train or use the tunnel in a road to avoid the occlusion from your natural climate, from air, atmosphere and water, raining. So this is the secure tunnel in the VPN. In computer term, we can say is a VPN is a virtual private network. We simply create safe encrypted communication from source to destinations. And further we have a VPN protocols. We have main protocols used in the VPN. We use the IPsec. As you already learned, that protocol is a set of rules and regulations. IPsec, PPTP and L2TP. IPsec is a set protocol by the International Internet is a task force with the first support to source the encrypted exchange in the Internet Protocol layer, and the more advanced with the PPT, that's a point-to-point tunneling protocol for creating a virtual private network. We have L2TP, that's a layer 2, is a tunneling protocol. It's an extension of P2TPT, and it's the more advanced uses in a virtual private network. Next we have of course the types, how many types of the VPN. The VPN we have different types. You can use it access by remotely, site to site, mobile, hardware. VPN appliances, or remote access VPN. So let me brief with all this. What is the remote access point? Remote access point, as the word describes, to accessing any network remotely, not from visiting physically. Or it's a VPN client connected with the virtual private network gateway. Is simply reliable and is using the IP security of SSL for securing the connections. That's a remote access VPN. Site-to-site VPN, it uses the gateway devices to connect the entire network to location to another network location. Mobile, in mobile VPN, still the age of the in company networks. We enable to secure the tunnel, the authentication by using the mobile VPN. And also we have a hardware VPN used to enhance our security. Hardware VPN can provide the load balancing. Next we have a DHCP, the DHCP server. So DHCP is basically is a dynamic host configuration protocol which provide the automatic IP address to our client without user intervention. So DHCP plays a big role in our network, and DHCP follow a process which we call a DORA process. That's a discovery, offer, request, and acknowledgement. So what is a discovery? Discovery is just server go and look for any client machine in our networks. Once you find that client machine, it offers, comes with the role of offer. It offers an IP address to that client. Hey, you need that IP address. Once the client need that IP address, then client requests to DHCP, yes, I am ready to access this IP address. So please allow me this IP address. After allowing by sending the request from the client, and the client gives the acknowledgement. Okay, I got the IP address from my acknowledgement. So these all processes go with the DHCP as in DORA process. Next we have a DNS server. DNS is just basically is a domain name system or domain name service which is used to resolve IP address to host name or host to IP address, vice versa. As we know, the computer can learn only with the digital language, say 0110. If you want to translate our name or any domain name or any website, so computer will not understand. So computer translate these characters as a host name to IP address in a digital form. And after that, to decrypt this IP address is translated into also with the host. So IP to host and host to IP, vice versa. This is the work of the DNS. Basically, we have the two types of DNS server. We have a primary DNS, we have a secondary DNS server. The primary DNS servers are reading the data related to domain zone only. And the secondary zone DNS is a backup or is a work as a backup for the primary DNS server. Next, we have different types of queries there. We have DNS queries. We can divide into three parts: recursive, iterative, and non-recursive queries. So these are all the queries which the DNS uses for authentication within the DNS server. In recursive, it's provide the host names with the DNS to resolve. Must provide the best answer. Just go with the best answer to give the resolutions as a request response. And iterative, it finds the best answer to resolve it with the related DNS record in its cache and refer to the DNS client to root server. If the data is not found in its database, then it directly diverted to root server. So it's also work for to resolve the host name by itself or go for the another assistance of root server. And the non-recursive query means the server already knows the answer. It gives answer with the yes or no. So this is the non-recursive query. And we have a types of DNS types. We have a DNS server has, we know, the multiple database to resolve the different types of query. That's called a DNS record. We have A record, CNAME record, MX record, NS record, PTR record, SRV, and SOA. In simple word is A record used for the mapping records. CNAME is a canonical name, is a duplicate name of that site. MX record is specified the SMTP mail server. NS record, there's a name server. DNS zone provides the address of the different name servers. PTR records is opposite of A record, which is used to resolve IP address to host name. SRV record is different types of the services used in our network by DNS server. SOA is a sort of authority, is used for the replication purpose or for the file that must have an access zone to configure it. Next we have OCP TCP IP OSI TCP IP model. OSI is basically open stands for open system interconnection. It's just a reference. It's just a concept how the data is transferred from one computer to another computer. Just give the idea how the data flows in our network. So we have divided into 7 layers. We have application layer. The work of the application layer is the interaction layer, is how they interact user from web browser to destination. Then we have a different, another is the presentation layer. We define the format of data, what the format of data, it can be a picture, media, video, text. It comes in the presentation layer. Next we have a session layer. It create the manage and create and terminate the session for each and individual request. Request 1, for if you open the Google one, that comes with the session 1. Go for another site, go for the request session 2, 3, and later on, so and so on. And we have another transport layer. It's end-to-end delivery of the data with the proper communication and authentication. It's end-to-end delivery. And we have a network. The IP address taggings are performed in the networks. In MAC framings, we can use the data links. The MAC frames are in the data link layer. In the physically, of course, after we need our physical any devices to whom we communicate. So OSIs is basically application presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So these all layers are divided into 7 categories. So next we have a briefing about how the data transfer from source to destination, application to physical layer, as we have already described with that. So we have another with the server configuration. Server plays a big role. Server is the who provide the services to our client. Without server, we cannot share our resources to anyone, or we cannot accept the resources from anyone. We must have to configure a server. And different types of VS server in the world we can see is a DHCP server providing IP addresses, DNS server for domain naming system, web server for web services, mail server to sending the mail from source to destination, and proxy server. Of course, we need encrypted channels. We can go with the proxy server. So these all in the part of the server configuration: DHCP, DNS, web, mail, and proxy. The configuration server with the using with the some we have using the DVDs or CDs for configuration and server, like server 2003, 2008. There's a steps you need to follow inserting DVD and booting up with DVD, and follow the steps what they mention with the go click with the next. The configure with as per requirement and as per we need for our credentials. As we know, we have a configuration server. We have during the installation we have to follow the various stages, various steps need to be followed, how we perform the servers from hostname to their updates, roles, features, remotely desktop, firewalls. These all need to be set by the first time when we configure the server. So thank you. This is the end of the slide of networking concept part 2. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching this video, and see you next time.